Yo, it is your boy Invincible, and you are watching a new episode of the Gentleman Club Diary. On today's episode, we have an awesome guest. She came a long ways, and she's like a beautiful garden because she just, anywhere she goes, she just looks like a perfect entertainer. And if you ever need a place for somebody to hold a beer for you, she definitely has the perfect place for you to put a beer or whatever. And you're gonna find out what I'm talking about. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome Cherie Gwendolyn.
Hello.
We need like a chant. You can't hear. We're gonna do that on After Effects. But yeah, so Cherie, do you prefer your name Cherie Gwendolyn all in one, or do you just prefer Cherie?
I prefer it all in one, Cherie Gwendolyn.
All right, Cherie Gwendolyn. That's how we're gonna address her on the show. All right, so Cherie Gwendolyn, I want to know, what made you want to become a performer?
I danced when I was a kid. I've always been like in the spotlight with theater and stuff, so I was just like always became like a passion. And then like after high school and stuff, it's just like just working normal 9 to 5, and I was like, I want to perform. Like I didn't know where, and I'm like, what can I do? And it's like I always watched drag queens or something or strippers and stuff, and I was like, I want to do that.
When you were younger?
No, like when I was like 20, 21.
Oh, okay.
Like that's when I was like looking at clubs and stuff, because I'm like, I would love to like dance and make money.
Yeah.
Like, but not really knowing what I was getting myself into.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So who was the bad influence and convinced you to go out and dance?
Honestly, there's no bad influence.
No bad influence.
No, there wasn't anybody. I was just like trying to do my research, like, but I was with my girl roommates, and they're like my sisters even to this day. But
Yeah.
I was always telling them like, I want to work in a club. Like I really want to work in a club. Like my 9 to 5 job. Like I really just want to dance and just make money. And they were really encouraging. They're not like, no, you shouldn't do it. They're like, girl, yeah, you should.
You
And
should.
they weren't dancers themselves. Like had no clue. So it wasn't like bad influencing. It's just nobody told me no.
So actually it was good influence.
Yeah,
so
it was good
they were
influence.
supportive. You don't really hear friends being supportive these days. So they were supportive of your actual possibility of you going out and being a dancer.
Yeah, like which was really cool. And even to this day, like getting to like adult film industry, it's like they've been super supportive. And it's like normally people are like kind of like side-eyeing you, like, oh, you want to be a dancer? Okay, like it's so frowned upon, like, which it shouldn't be.
You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about how girls that are dancers, this is what I noticed since I've been doing the podcast. I've been noticing that girls are ashamed of being dancers. Or if they get out of the career of being a dancer, they don't want to talk about being a dancer. They kind of just want to close that door.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, wow, why are you ashamed? I don't understand it, but maybe you can explain. I mean, are you ashamed of being a dancer?
So that's like a really good question that I wanted to talk about, because when I first started dancing, yeah, like I didn't make like an Instagram. I didn't make like a dance account. I just had my name. I just had Cherie, and that's who it was. But nobody could find me. And then when I stopped dancing for like a little bit, it's like I had no connections with anybody. It was just, I was there. And then when I disappeared, I disappeared because I was so ashamed of it. Because I was like, didn't really accept it. And then when I stopped dancing and I really missed that like lifestyle of being a dancer, meeting all these people and that kind of environment. And then that's when I got into burlesque. And then I was getting my sexuality back. And then it made me go back to the club. And now I made my whole account, made my whole name. Like, yeah, I'm a dancer. Yeah, I'm proud. So what? So
be proud of being a dancer.
Yeah,
What's up? Don't be ashamed of being a dancer. There's too many girls that are ashamed. This is part of your journey. It's part of your life. Like I've done a lot of things in my life. Like I've done, because I've done music and stuff like that. And I've done songs where I wasn't like really proud of it. But like people are like, I love that song. I'm like, well, how do you love that song? That's like an embarrassing song. Maybe because like I have a crazy hairdo or whatever. But yeah, now you got to embrace the journey, the human experience, embrace it.
Yeah, and it's a job, like any other job. Like you're not gonna go up to like somebody who's like a mailman or works at a coffee shop. It's like you're not gonna go and shame on them because they're working this kind of job. And like that should be the same with dancing. Like you're there just to pay your bills.
You're there to pay your bills. And do you think some people can become passionate about being a dancer, or do you think it's just a phase?
For sure, if they're really like, if that's what they want to do full time,
Mm-hmm.
like they want to make their name for that, for sure. Because that's like kind of what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, I'm a dancer, both like in a strip club and burlesque, and just like as a performer in general. So yeah, like some people can be passionate about it, but I think people are just there to make their money, save up for whatever they need, school, whatever, then they're out.
Then they're out. So with your you doing this stuff, I mean, what made you want to go into the adult industry from being a dancer? Like, what convinced you to say, "Hey, I want to shoot porn"?
So like when I started getting like when I stopped doing strip clubs and then I was kind of learning about burlesque and just seeing like other performers in the area, I was like, I would love to do that because when I first started dancing, I came unprepared and I didn't really have a good time because I was just like, being touched by men. And
Mm-hmm.
during that period, it was like in my personal love life, I was getting mistreated by men. So I was just like, those
So,
two combined.
so in your real life, you were getting mistreated too?
Yeah. So it's just like, I'm like a hopeless romantic. So when I was like talking to guys and it's like, I always want to put my all, and it's like, I was getting cheated on or disrespected and stuff. And then when I was getting into stripping, it would be the same thing,
Yeah.
So it made me not like dancing. So that's why I just really had to stop because it was not working with like my mental health. And then learning about burlesque, I'm like, I want to go back into dancing, but I don't think I'm prepared for clubs just yet. And then I started taking classes. I started working with really big burlesque performers in the area and in the state, to be honest, and just learning from them. And then when I started performing, I got my sexuality back. I'm like, I love this. And then when I was going
Yeah.
back in the strip club, I was owning it instead of
Ooh.
like, you got to play the game or the game's going to play you, basically.
You got to play the game, or the game's gonna play you. Now, you made me think of something because now I'm thinking of, okay, do you think being a younger dancer, or maybe not being naive and not understanding what's going on when you first started being a dancer, do you think it's just the lack of confidence and like, I don't like this, I don't like people touching me, et cetera, et cetera? But as you learn and you grow, then you're like, hold up, now I know how to play. Like you just said, I know how to play the game. So you think for a baby stripper, it could be overwhelming. But now that you have experience, you can basically control the atmosphere. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because like when you're a baby stripper, it's like you don't really have a lot of resources. That's why these podcasts are really great to just learn everyone's experiences and stuff instead of going on TikTok and it's like, yeah, I make so much money and I wear cute clothes. I'm whatever. It's like they put the good side of dancing instead of what actually goes down, like slow
Yeah.
nights, not making money, the type of men you meet. And so when you're getting into that, girls can not, they have like a high expectation. And then especially if you don't have any support, like in this kind of work, it can feel very lonely. So I can see that.
You know what I realized when I first started managing, that we had it when I first started, we had a lot of slow nights. You know, the club wasn't cracking when I first started. It was dead. I would have girls sleeping on the couches waiting for customers to come in. And then every customer come in, those 3 or 4 girls would be on them.
Charge them.
Right? But what I'm saying is like, man, like there wasn't really that much money. You know, every once in a while that guy would throw a couple hundred, they'll make a couple hundred a night.
Yeah.
But the reality of the club, the strip club and the day shifts, that sometimes there wasn't no money. Or it was very little bit of money. You had to really work to get the money.
Yeah.
Have you had a lot of days where you have to really work to get the money?
Yeah, like when I first started stripping ever, like the club was not making money. There would be a lot of slow nights, like you were saying, because it was just like right after the pandemic, like everything was starting to open up and then people started to like, having to pay their rent and everything that was building up. So there wasn't a lot of money to spend. So I literally quit my 9-to-5 job with no backup plan and went straight to the club and thinking I was going to make money. And then when I started, it was like there was no money. So it was definitely a hard time. And you said like girls would be sleeping on their phone, on the couch, or just like they would dip because they're like this, like kind of thing.
Oh, you know what? Talking about just dipping, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had this a lot of times where girls, like I used to basically not beg girls, but I would like, hey, I won't charge you a stage fee if you chill here. I won't charge you a stage fee tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
But it almost became like that's when I seen who the real girls who had my back.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, all right, they don't want to dip. The girls that stuck by me through the day shift and really like ride it with me throughout the bad, I shall say, those are the real ones. That's why I appreciate day shift girls because I'm like, man, you don't know how important on my shifts, how important they were. Like,
Yeah.
and there would be sometimes like customers would come in and we wouldn't have no girls.
No girls. Exactly.
So they would leave,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what are you? Are you a day girl? Are you a night girl? What's kind of your vibe?
I do both because
Uh-huh.
I do dancing full time. So during the week, I like to like do day shifts, and then weekends I would do the night, and then it gives me a good balance of not always coming in very late. And like some days I can sleep in at a good time, not like at 3:30 in the morning, you know, leaving the
Yeah.
club. So I like to give myself that balance. But people sleep on day shift. They really do. Everyone thinks like, oh, just nightlife. Everyone comes at night. But like girls don't realize like day shifts can be pretty good as well. Like you never know.
Yeah. Hey, day shifts are good, huh?
They're good and they're mellow too.
Yeah.
So if you kind of like, I know with a lot of dancers, especially like, I feel like not, a lot of days like people's mental health isn't that great. So people have a lot of anxiety or like being around like a huge crowd and loud music. And then when you work day shift, it's like super mellow, super laid back, and you get that one customer that comes in, spends so much money, and then you can go home and go to bed early.
Go to bed early, right?
to
So
bed
don't
early.
sleep on the day shifts.
Don't.
So
Yeah,
day
don't do it.
shifts is where it's at, huh?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to give yourself that balance instead of just, okay, I'm going in and gonna leave at 3 or whatever after hours, how the club is.
Do you think being a dancer could be actually considered a fun job?
It can if you make it, because if you like start your shift like kind of being negative on yourself, being negative on the club, or negative about the whole night, you're not gonna make that good of money, in my opinion. Because if you just have a bad attitude, like about anything, it's just not gonna go well. You're gonna get annoyed with customers. You're gonna get annoyed with just the girls around you. It's just not gonna be fun. So if you go in confident, you know, just prepared to work that shift and just go in and go home, get your bag.
Get your bag. Your
Get your
vibe attracts your tribe. So, yeah. Shout out to the day girls. For the audience that don't know, the day girls were so important to me. I respect them. And you know, some people be like, "Oh, the night shift has the better looking girls." I'm like, bro, you have no clue.
You never know.
Yeah, you never know
You
who you're
really
gonna see in
never
the
know.
day. And the day is cool because you actually can get to know the girls.
Yeah.
Like it's not super busy. When it's super busy, the girls are all about
Just,
the money.
Yeah, just hustling. It's
Yeah,
just
they're
trying to
hustling. They ain't really. They either shaking right there if you're at a club where there's floor dancing, or they're on the stage, or they're just trying to get in and out. It's too busy. It's like if you had any advice for, because a lot of customers they ask me like, how can I get at a stripper? Like, how can I talk to her if I go to like, what would be your advice to a customer that was trying to hit on a stripper? What would be your advice?
My advice would be, honestly, just treat dancers like humans. Like, treat us like ladies. Like, when a customer comes up and they're like, hey, sexy, whatever, it's like, okay, it's just this drunk guy, whatever. But when you like approach me and you're just like, you're like, oh, how's your day? How's your night? And just like, and then wanting to get like to know me, and just, you know, and then you tip here and there. It's just, and you keep it just so mellow instead of just like, hey, baby, shake some ass. Like, you know, it's like, girls love that because they get that all the time with other customers, and that's part of the job. But it's like, if you treat like a girl good, they're gonna want to come back to you,
Right.
especially if you're a regular, you know.
So like, are you saying like, say I went to a strip club, and say I wasn't like, hey, sexy or not, I was just like, you know what, you're very pretty. I would be lying if I was to tell you I didn't want to smack your butt cheeks, but I'm gonna be very respectful. I'm gonna be very respectful. I'll tip you $1. I'm gonna sprinkle you $1 again in about 2 minutes, and just sprinkle dollars here and there. You think I have a better chance?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because like, you know, we're just humans. Like people go in the club and think we're just like these exotic people, and it's like, and then we're just human. We're just here to pay our bills. Like a lot of us are moms, or just like students, and or something. You know, like a lot of girls would have like a day job, and they're like, okay, work my day job, and now I got to do another shift just to like make rent for the month.
You know what it is. I think because we see you guys looking beautiful, like you guys have the lingerie, like a lot of what you guys wear, the wardrobe, it means a lot. Like we don't think about it. Most dudes don't get to see their girl dressed up in fishnets, stockings, looking so exotic, and pretty faces. They might have a maybe not as attractive woman at home.
Yeah.
And so now they're at a club, they get to see a very attractive woman, and I think that's where the fantasy kind of comes in.
Yeah, and the fantasy is great. Like, just seeing these beautiful women, and it's just, I feel like men, when they come to a club, they think they have like this privilege or like power over these girls. But in the end, I'm like, you're in their house. This is their club, not yours. Like, we can easily kick you out in a minute if you're like disrespecting us. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you just come in, just have a good time. We want to have a good time with you. But I'm like, you're bothering us. It's going to show. And you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah, you know what I think it is? Is that men that go to clubs, they automatically like, oh, these girls are hoes. I'm going to go in there to go see some hoes. And I'm going to hook up with, so they get amped up and they feel like these girls are such and such because they look a certain way, but they don't realize this is a fantasy. You're coming into, this is work. These girls are there working. You're coming in there and you better pay them. And I think, you know what? This is something that happened recently is that I threw a little private party and I was a little disappointed with the girls' work ethic because I saw that they kind of were giving up too much and not really understanding their power. Because I see your girls' power. I'm like, you guys got the power. You guys can make us dudes do anything you guys want. You guys can milk us all day, and we're really thinking you're into us. Like, oh yes, you're really feeling us. But what I was disappointed on was that the girl wasn't really milking the customer, and the customer was getting a little bit more touchier and touchier. And I'm like, yo, you gotta tax him. Like you don't understand that he will pay. He will pay, but you got to work him. You got to break him down a little more.
Yeah, you got to definitely know your boundaries because, like, once a guy or any customer, like, we say guys, but it could be women too. Because, like, when women come to the club, they feel like they have more authority for girls. So with any customer, it's like you got to set your boundaries, or they're gonna just be touchy, and then you're not gonna get your money's worth, basically.
So how do you deal with these touchy customers? How do you deal with them?
Honestly, I let them know, and then especially my club right now, like they're really like on game with that, like no touching at all. So, which is good because when I first started, it was like I let guys do whatever because I didn't know, you know what I mean? So I was just like didn't know what to do, but now I'm just like I let them know like, hey, don't do that. But when they keep doing it, then I get a little bit more aggressive, and then if it doesn't stop, I'm like, okay, I'm out. Like, I leave. Like, you're not getting my attention, like, at all.
See, that's what, and I've talked about this. Like, I think that, like, see, when you first started, you didn't know about this. You didn't know, so you probably let them do a little bit more, which sucks because it's just the lack of really knowing how the club works. And you have to kind of create your own rules and boundaries as you go, which actually sucks. And I think maybe in a strip club, like, if I owned a strip club, I think I would implement that, like, train the girls. Like, listen, even if you do know or you don't know, you still need to know. I'm going to tell you that when a customer is trying to do too much, you don't need to do none of that.
Yeah.
And man, that's what kind of sucks. So do you wish there was more like maybe a mentorship in the club?
Yeah, and then I think more because with different clubs that I worked at, there's been clubs, it's kind of like, you're just like another dancer. Like they just see that. They don't really tell you anything. It's just basically how the club works. And then there's been other clubs that are like, if guys are even trying to like ask you to do extras or anything, like let us know and we'll handle it. Like feeling more protection for the girls, you know? So I think it's more in the management part than on the girls' part because, you know, it's just, there's not a lot of information out there. Everyone wants to show the good, like we've been saying. So I think it's really on management and just being on it, like letting them know like what's okay and what's not okay, just letting them know the basics and
Yeah, I think the women in clubs, some of them, not all of them, some of them got to understand like you're a beautiful woman, right? Like shit, you need to be paid. You're showing your body. These guys are getting in there for $5 at 10, 15, maybe 20 on a weekend to get in to see a beautiful woman butt naked that they would never ever get to see unless they went to that club. And they get to see you naked. Like you guys need to charge these dudes.
Yeah, like, especially like dancing, it's physical, and it's like a workout. And especially like the girls that do the pull tricks, it's like there's a lot of training involved, and classes are not cheap. Like none of that's cheap. Even like any kind of dance is not cheap. So it's just like you're using all your talent, using your body, like depending how many days you work in a week. Even if a weekend, it can be hard.
So what goes down in the VIP? Because I hear very different stories, and me as a manager, I've seen and heard different stories. So what goes on the VIP?
So I heard a lot of stories, but with me, with VIPs, I don't do like anything extra. I just can't do it. Like even when I was a baby shipper, like I just couldn't do it. It's for my safety. But I've heard stories with other girls, and I'm like, okay, you do you. And then some customers would get like a VIP wanting that, but I would just be straight up like, it's just not with me. It's just not gonna happen.
Okay, do you have a memorable VIP story? Or have you heard of a VIP story that was a little bit outrageous that you would never forget?
Honestly, I have two. Like one's really simple. Like some guy got a VIP just to talk. Like literally just talk. Like I was about to dance and stuff. He's like, no, you don't have to dance. Sit right here. Let's just talk for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, I love you. I'm like, and then he tipped me on that. I'm like, sweet. I wish this was like every VIP.
Day shift, you get to talk just to the customer.
Exactly.
They're not really drunk in the day shift. They do get drunk, but
a little bit. It's just like after work.
Yeah, they go there and they want to talk. And to be real, a lot of us dudes, we just want to talk.
Yeah, especially like day shift, like people are coming off from work and they just like, I just want to have a drink, just relax, and I want to just talk about my day. Like it could have been a shitty day, it could have been a good day, or just life in general. Like they just want to talk, really. Yeah,
they want to talk. So go to the day shift, because day shifts
they're nice.
Yeah, they're nice. Okay, so then what was the second story that happened in the VIP?
So it was when I first started dancing, and I think it was like one of the first VIPs I got. And even though I didn't do like extras and stuff, but this guy just wanted to suck my toes.
Want to suck your toes? Do you have nice toes though?
I do have nice toes.
She has nice toes.
But all he wanted to do, he was just like looking. He didn't even look at me. He was just looking at my feet. He was just like admiring them and just like sucking on my toes. I'm like, okay.
Oh, you let him suck on your toes?
I let him, because I'm like, I think this is what you're supposed to do. I'm like,
dang. Okay. You know what? I would, as a manager, I don't think I would trip on a girl getting her toes sucked.
Yeah, it's not like sexual. Like, it's just like someone's just sucking your toes. So.
I have a friend of mine, she's a porn girl, and she says, she calls, because I'm a toe guy, I love pretty feet. And so she says, oh, you're a foot or whatever, you're one of those. But I say, no, but if you have ugly feet, then it's bad for me. It's like you could be pretty, and if you have beat up feet, I might pass on trying to smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have pretty feet, I want to smash.
Yeah, some people are into feet, or even the random stuff like ears or just like anything, like your fingers, like hands, like people have fetishes.
I don't know about fingers. I don't know. People like fingers?
Yeah, they like fingers. Just like people are weird.
Man, we had this one customer that used to come in. He had like a deformed fingers, and they were like ET fingers. They're like bubbles on all of his fingers. And
I don't know.
Yeah, he had bubbles on his finger. And when he would come in, he would always try to shake my hand. I'm like, oh.
You're like,
but sorry, hey, one girl, he was caught, I guess, trying to finger a girl with his bubbles. And hey, it was crazy to me, because I was like, she came running out and said, hey, this guy was she was cool with him, but she said that he kept trying to enforce his bubble fingers in her. So
that's a no. Like even when I first started dancing, and guys would do that, because it's like easy to access, like especially if you're not wearing like tights or anything. That's like one of the first things.
They try to finger you?
They try to finger you, and I'm like, no, it's gross. I'm like, you're touching money, you're touching the club. Like the club's not that clean. Like honestly, it's never even clean. It's like, I don't know what other girls you've been trying to do that with, or girls that let you do it. I'm like, no, there's no way.
You know what? During the pandemic, it made me think of something. During the pandemic, the whole club got sick. I got sick. The DJs got sick. We're all sick working. All sick working. And I was like, and then so I was getting calls that said that we got the customers. So they said that there was this construction company. There was a group of guys that said that they came to our strip club and they all got sick. So I don't know who it was that called from their company. They called the strip club and said, "Hey, if our employees went to your strip club and they're all sick because they went there." I said, "I don't know what you're talking about." So,
That's
they shouldn't have been here. It's as simple as that. During the pandemic, they should have been wearing the mask. I don't know what to talk. But in my head, I was like, I think they're for real, because I was sick.
Because everyone was sick.
Everybody was sick. Like, we're like, I don't know what was going on. But yeah. All right, I want to get into a video I saw on actually Instagram. So for you guys, you fellas out there that want to see this video is pretty cool too. I really like this video. The camera guy, I do suggest you watch this video because this is a very awesome video. She actually, I don't know who gave her this bottle or how this bottle ended up on her butt cheek. Like, she was holding the bottle with her butt cheeks. Like, how did that happen?
It still have beer in it too.
It still have beer in it. So how did the idea happen, or how did that come from?
Okay, I can't take the credit. When I first started dancing, there was this really amazing dancer like that worked at my club, and I was like admired by her, and she was super cool. But what she would do is she would get like these beer bottles and put it in her butt and do tricks like on stage and whatever. And I was like, that is dope. Like, that's cool. That's what I would like to see, you know?
Yeah.
And so when I stopped dancing, but you know, you always remembered those dancers, like even working on the club, like I always remembered each dancer and been inspired by them. And doing burlesque, we were doing, it was more like a dive bar. So it wasn't like traditional burlesque, like all fancy, whatever. So I was like, let me do this trick. Like, never done it publicly before. I'm like, let me try this trick and hopefully it works. I did it, crowd went nuts. And nobody's seen it before. And I was like, I learned this in the club. I'm glad I brought it back because it brought a little bit of like that moment, like seeing her perform. And I was like, yeah, it's really, everyone always talks about it. They call me like bottle butt.
Bottle butt. That's the new thing. She's the bottle butt. And if you guys don't know, we are going to do a game show for Patreon members. And you might be able to see what we're talking about. She might be the bottle butt on the Patreon. All right. So we're talking about, actually the camera guy was talking about this. He was saying, he was wondering if you're an attractive person and you go to a strip club, do they get a little bit more favoritism?
I can see that for sure, because like a lot of the girls that I've heard like in the dressing room that they like attractive guys because it just makes the job more easier on their part when they get drunk and talk to, you know. But also if you're like all dressed up and stuff, they think you have a lot of money. They would see either like a lawyer or a doctor kind of thing. So everyone would try to just hunt this man down, you know. And in the end, sometimes it's like he might just only give you $20 and then dip.
And that's messed up. So a lot of it could be misleading then, because you might think that person has money. He only gives you $20. And I'm gonna keep it real. I've seen, you know, despite the parties we've had, not despite, but the parties we have had, I've seen people customers come in here and they try to dress suave, and then they don't spend nothing.
Yeah. It's kind of like putting on a front.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I'm not saying for everybody, but when I work at clubs, I feel like men that are they just got off of work, even though they're dirty for the club, you know, it kind of sucks for the girls' part, but like construction workers, I've seen them spend most. They're literally in their work clothes, like dirty and shit, and they're just making it rain. And it's insane. Making it rain more than somebody like in a full-on suit.
Yeah, so the construction workers, you need to keep coming to the day shift. Yes, she loves the construction worker. So construction workers make it rain.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Like I know they can be a little bit dirty, so they ask for a dance, like, you know, it kind of sucks, but they will spend. Construction
workers make it rain. All right, that's cool. All right, hey, shout out to the construction workers that come, and I can agree that I do remember. You know what? A lot of construction workers though were perverts.
They can be a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, they really wanted the most.
Yeah, especially when they get a little touchy and their fingers.
Oh man, we gotta carry sanitizer and all that stuff.
Gotta wear some gloves.
Yeah, some gloves. Shit, we gotta, man.
Because their nails, and I even look at their fingernails too, and there'll be like dirt underneath. I'm like,
And now you got me looking at my fingernails like, do I got, I think.
I get it, you're working hard, but you also got to keep it clean.
Have a clean hygiene. All right. So I noticed your style. Of course, everybody's gonna notice her style. You have a very unique style. You know what I mean? So what do you kind of contribute? Like what's something that has contributed to your style, and what kind of who do you look up to in regards to your style?
So I grew up with like old Hollywood movies, watching like I didn't really like growing up here in LA. Like my mom didn't really have a lot of money, so sometimes we'll have cable, sometimes we wouldn't. So anything that was on TV, like that was free, it was always I Love Lucy. That would be my favorite thing. Like either before school or after school. I don't really remember the times they would start like on the television, but I'll be sitting up front and my mom would get mad. She's like, sit your ass back there, you're gonna your eyes. So I would always watch I Love Lucy, or my grandpa would got me and my mom like this big old tin thing of DVDs of old movies. So me and my mom would have movie nights, and it would be all these great old films. And I just always loved that old Hollywood style and the pinup look. And then when I tried to do that as a kid, I got bullied for it.
Oh, damn, that's messed up. Hey, kids are mean, huh?
Yeah,
Hey, you know what? Just people in general are mean. Like if you ever go to YouTube, like some of the comments, I'm like, bro, like
they're harsh. The internet's harsh.
Like they'd be like, oh, your teeth look like this. Boop, 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 boop. I'm like, damn. Like they're like, your teeth throwing up gang sign. I'm like, bro, man. But you know what? I learned to. Hey, shout out to the people that be clowning. I'm cool with it. Like
yeah, now it's funny.
Yeah.
Like I'll take a joke.
Some of it's funny. I ain't gonna lie. Like when I have my hair, they're like, this dude looks like Carlos Mencia rapping. I was like, damn, that's kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie.
No, like honestly now, like people troll, and honestly, I think it's funny. It makes just the life better. Yeah, I would get bullied, and I was in that Marilyn Monroe phase because that was kind of like the only thing I knew how to do.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how to dress. I would steal my mom's clothes because she used to work in the court. So always the pencil skirts, blouses, the slippers, whatever.
Like a pea coat with a pea coat.
Yeah, like a little, like I looked all professional, and I would try to wear that in like elementary school or middle school, and then I would cut my hair short, and my mom would let me dye my hair, so I bleached it really blonde and cut it really short and tried to do that Marilyn Monroe look. And then this is when Snapchat became a thing, but somebody, I don't know who, but somebody took a picture of me. It was like, wanna be Marilyn Monroe, like at a basketball game, and I'm like, F-. So after that, I tried to fit in with everybody's style, and honestly, never liked it. Try to buy like the newest shoes or designer stuff, even though if I couldn't afford it. I try to fit the trend.
Yeah.
And then getting into burlesque, it was like a lot of pinup girls and Viva Las Vegas, like having more of this community that accepted that style. And I started to do it again. And then now I just feel, honestly, I feel more sexy when I'm in this whole look. Because it's not like a costume. It's more just like, yeah, this is what I want to look like.
Yeah. Now, are you into any kind of fetishes?
I'm starting to get into a little bit more of that, because when I got into the adult industry, I was just doing boy-girl scenes, like just basic girl next door.
Yeah.
But I got recently booked for like a fetish scene, and I've never done it before, but I was always open to it. And when I got into it, and I was like, this is low-key turning me on.
Oh,
like,
damn.
I low-key like this.
What was it?
Like bondage stuff.
Oh,
like,
bondage. Okay.
Like with tape or like the rope. And I've never done that before. But I'm just shooting it, you know, for other people. But while we were shooting, I'm like, wow, I actually like this. This is turning me on.
So you like getting tied up?
I want to do more of that kind of stuff. And with me being a sex worker, like I honestly want to get into more like the dominatrix kind of scene.
Okay. You know, I always wonder, like, you know how the girls wear like the latex and stuff?
Yeah.
I was like wondering how does that turn you on wearing that latex? Because to be real, the latex, I don't know if that turns me on, but I'm not into the dominatrix stuff. So I don't know, maybe a guy that's into that, he might be like, oh, I love that. But I'm wondering, how does that turn you on wearing the black latex and all that stuff?
I feel more like I have a lot of power, especially because before, even with like my personal sex life, I always like a guy to be dominant, or even a female to be dominant over me, because I like.
Oh, so you like both? Okay.
Yeah, I like both. So I always like that kind of someone catering to me. But now when I started to do did my first like fetish scene, and if I'm wearing like a latex kind of thing and dominating like a man or somebody else, it just gives me this whole power, and it just makes it changes the game.
And it changes the game.
Changes the
Okay,
game.
so
It's not for everybody though.
It's not for no.
Yeah.
Now it's probably not. Well, you know what? I might be open, like, cause I'm a feet guy, right? So I might be open to like that, like you doing something with your feet on me or something like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Everything else, nah. But that right, that's cool. But I'm more dominant.
Yeah.
Like I'm more into like pleasing you. I wanna know that I'm making you come.
Yeah.
You really enjoying what I'm doing to you.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like that. Like somebody else that actually inspired me to get into the adult industry, like they tried that and it didn't work. It didn't work for them. Like to have some female dominate them. They like to dominate other people.
They may know what, maybe that's like, for instance, like for you were talking about earlier in the interview about some of the guys have maybe, I don't know if they're cheated on you, or maybe you didn't have the best luck with dating, right? So maybe this might be your get back. Like, look at my.
I feel like that's where it's coming from.
Is it?
Like, yeah, like kind of wanting that revenge, because it's like, honestly, with like relationships, like when I get cheated on, I do something way worse. I'm not proud of it, but I feel like with this kind of stuff, like, so I'm not really dating anymore. Yeah. I'm kind of just doing my own thing, wanting to focus on my career. But when I'm doing this kind of like sex work where I'm the one being the dom, gives me that power back. And I think that's where it's coming from. That's why it makes me feel a little bit like, ooh, I like this.
Yeah.
So I'll play some music after like working a whole scene like that, and like something that kind of still puts me in that scene, like listening to music, like on my way back home. And I'm like, I like this.
You like that.
Yeah.
She likes being dominant. She wants to be dominant. So any fellas, make sure you watch her scenes. I haven't saw any of your scenes, which I will eventually, but I don't know what. So should the audience expect some dominatrix type of pornography?
Right now, there's not a lot. It's like it was just like my first few scenes, and I think just one came out. But all my scenes right now are very girl next door, like, oh, sweet, just because they see, innocent looking. So not yet, but we're in the works. Keep in tune.
Keep in tune. She's doing some wild stuff, like really wild, like very wild. Okay, well, I look forward to actually seeing that. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy, you know, for someone like me, I actually like creating music, right? And it's very artistic on just ideas and concepts of what you're doing. So I always wonder, like pornography, like is there artistry in that, like with bondage or with, because what, you know, I'm gonna tell you something. I interviewed somebody that was strictly a dominatrix. She was a porn actress in early interviews, and there was like a certain lingo that I was not aware of. Like I should have done more research to kind of understand the lingo, but it's almost like there was like a whole different lifestyle that people don't even know about.
Yeah, because that kind of lifestyle, when I first went to like the XBiz Awards, like the pre-nomination parties and AVN, it was like my first time meeting everybody in person. Yeah. So everyone's like lives in like Miami or Las Vegas. Like everyone's just out, and especially when I'm new. So a lot of people that I met do that, but low key. It's very like invite only. So it's not super open as much as it should be. But I think that gives it that little like spiciness to it. Because it's so low key, and like you have to get invited to these kind of events, and it's kind of a little special. Like no one knows what really goes down.
What really goes down. All right. Yeah. So you being a dancer, do you think that helped you kind of break into this industry now? Like it's like made you comfortable with your, because I noticed that based on your Instagram, I could tell that you perform live, like maybe with topless. And to get to that level, you cannot just go from, okay, I'm going to go dance naked in front of a bunch of people. Like that actually takes you got to be keep doing it, and it's repetition that you have to kind of be comfortable with.
Yeah, that's why I really appreciate the burlesque community, because like when you're a dancer, people feel like you have to get stuff done to kind of fit this image or think that's what guys like. And I always tell girls, I'm like, you don't have to get stuff done. Like if you want to, go ahead. Like it's your body, you should do whatever you want, but you don't have to just to feel like you're gonna make money. Because some guys, they like petite girls, some guys like curvier girls, some guys like natural, some guys don't like natural. Like, it just depends. Everyone has their own customer. And in the burlesque community, they always said like everybody is welcome. So it's like, it doesn't matter whatever you have, like you can be a burlesque performer and it's sexy. And that's what kind of taught me, because when I first started dancing, it was just like, okay, I'm getting naked, but I'm just like, like about it. I'm like, I'm not accepting me doing this. And then doing burlesque just changes the game to where like, yeah, I can't wait to like take this skirt off, take this corset off. Like,
so you become super comfortable.
And gave me that power back, just like accepting what I had. Because people would always, especially like growing up, like I had curves when I was a kid. So it was like, oh yeah, you're stuffing your bra or this and that, like, or having a push-up bra on. And I would always feel ashamed. So that's why I was more tomboy. I would wear like baggy t-shirts or like these baggy pants to kind of just like hide it. Hide myself, because I felt ashamed because everyone was making it seem that way.
So dancing helped you not be ashamed of your body anymore.
Yeah, I just accepted it. And it's like, if I'm bloated, okay, I'm bloated. If I'm taking myself out of this tight ass corset, like it changed everything.
So basically said, I don't give a F. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna show this, and you either like it or not.
Yeah, if you like it or not. Mostly people do. Like, who doesn't?
They appreciate it. All right, you old school. You like the classic music, right? What's some classic songs that like you bump on the daily?
Ooh, okay, so it was on my Spotify rap. So it was Julie London and also Rita Hayworth, which is kind of weird because...
But what songs though?
So Why Don't You Do Right? It was one of my top songs. And It's Been a Long Time. That was one of my top songs.
It's been a long time.
But it was also Put the Blame on Maine by Rita Hayworth.
Put the blame on Maine.
Yeah. It's a lot of like these little sexy kind of songs. Like, yeah, they might seem like old school, whatever, but yeah, they're little.
Yeah, you always had the freak. She's a freakily. All right, what about movies? What's some movies you enjoy?
So I really like The Red Shoes, though, and it's in Technicolor, and it's kind of shows if you're like a performer, like in dance, like dance is everything, and you have to make a whole dedication to it. Yeah. But also you have like your personal life. So you're like stuck in the between, like, do you want this? I'm gonna get married and have kids kind of life, or you want to stick with your dream, which is dancing. And it's kind of like that stuck in between, kind of fighting both ways. And then in the end, it kind of ends.
You ever
sadly.
seen Mr. Destiny?
Mr. Destiny? Mm-mm.
Man, I watched, so it's an old school movie for those that never watched, but he like wanted a rich and fancy lifestyle and he got his wish. And then he realized that it was nothing like he expected it to go. So he wanted his old life back.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like that. You sure? The Red Shoes.
Really? That's like an iconic movie.
That's an iconic movie, The Red Shoes.
It's so good. I low-key cry with it, but it's a good movie. Anything Technicolor is so pretty.
Yeah, Red Shoes. All right. If you were to like go back into a certain time frame, what time frame do you think would fit your lifestyle?
I think 1940s for
40s,
sure.
Wow. What was it? Because I know the 50s. I don't know what was kind of happening in the 40s.
I liked the style. I think that's more my style with the clothing. I feel like that's what I'm more attracted to, because 50s kind of goes on like through the 60s and it kind of just changes up a little bit. Yeah. But I think just growing up with movies like more in the 40s just gives that more old, like hopeless romantic kind of vibe. Just how the noir films were shot, and the clothing, the hair, it's just everything was just so pretty about it. Yeah. That I fall more into that. So I try to find more clothing in that style. But when you go into more 50s, that's when kind of more like Marilyn became this kind of symbol for everybody. So the blonde bombshell with the red lipsticks and the tighter clothes, like more revealing, like, which is great. I love the 50s too, but 40s just gives that little, like, it's still sexy, but in its own little way.
Do you think, like, what do you think strip clubs were in the 50s and 60s? What do you think they would be like?
It would be like burlesque.
Burlesque style,
Yeah.
right? And they're kind of, so what do you think
But it had
tips
to
were?
be more like they were more like speakeasies because
Uh-huh.
like with burlesque shows, that's kind of like where strip clubs came to
Yeah.
be. But they were very low key. They weren't really trying to say like, yeah, it's the burlesque show because cops would come in and just arrest everybody.
My cops are haters, huh?
Yeah,
We
they
over
would
there trying to
shut
see
it
some
down.
boobies in my past life, and they will come over there, right? But you know what? I just came across, I don't know how true this is, so please correct me if I'm wrong for the viewers. But I did see that, like the speakeasy, you know how they ban alcohol and stuff like. I heard it was not really because of, like, I heard that they banned it because they can use alcohol for like gasoline and different things. I heard something like that. Now I could be wrong, and you probably have more enlightenment
Honestly,
on that.
Honestly, I felt like I did know, but I never heard that before.
Never heard that. I just saw something about that.
They
Like,
were just like saying like how it just made people like
yeah.
bad, like drinking too much, like drunk people. They were like hating on drunk people.
No, they were
basically.
saying that they used to use that like as far as like in exchange for gasoline, like that. So
Probably, yeah.
because you got to think about it like electricity, right? Like I know it was free when if you like know who Nikola Tesla was, and you know that everything is if it ain't making money for I guess the government or whatever, then it's like I don't know.
I know the government always.
They're always haters, huh? Man,
Haters,
what's
trying
up
to
with
take
these
everything.
haters? They hate on the girls trying to make money. They hate on me trying to watch the girls. Man, come on, man.
I know, like that's why with like my club right now, it's like I heard like after the pandemic, like I don't know who, but they were like going through all these clubs, seeing if they were like actually like being good, and they shut down a lot of clubs, like because girls were doing whatever or the bar, like anything, like taking away their license and stuff, and then a lot of clubs closed because of that.
Haters. I'm telling you,
Haters.
haters.
So let them be.
Let like people need my opinion. Like I've been asked this before. Like, oh, what do you think about prostitution? My honest opinion about it is that I feel like some men, they need that, and you know what I'm saying is do that. And if a girl wants to sell that, that's her body. Let her do what she wants to do.
Yeah.
I am no one to tell anybody what they shall do, and I'm not paying their bills, so I should not tell you what to do.
Exactly. Like I'm not the one to do that, but me like getting into this kind of work and just accepting me being a sex worker, I'm gonna accept all sorts of sex work. I feel like especially like with dancers too, do the same things. Like yeah, they dance at clubs, but they're like, what's the word? Like whorephobic. Like they are like they look down on dancers. They're like, oh, I'm different. Like, well,
I'm different.
Yeah, I'm a dancer. I'm a pole dancer, not a stripper. And that's not okay. So with like prostitution, like honestly, guys do need that because you never know. Some guy, like they could have a disability or anything. That's why when they go to the clubs, like guys will make fun of them. Like, look at this guy. Like, but I'm like, no, he's here and we're going to talk to him. He's probably going to tip more than you. They need that. Everyone needs this kind of, everyone's a sexual human being.
Everybody watches porn. And
Everyone
if you don't watch
watches
porn, you're a
You're a
goddamn
liar.
liar, right? Everybody watches porn. My camera guy watches porn. I watch porn. She even watches porn.
Everyone does.
Everybody watches porn. You know what I feel like? I feel like everybody wants to hate on strippers, but everybody want to act like strippers. Like everybody want to dance like strippers.
Or dress like one.
Dress like a stripper, right? Everybody want to hate on strippers.
They want to wear the pleasers, like out in the club, not like a strip club, like a normal club, the parties. And I'm like, but they hate
They hate on it. They hate on the strippers, and they hate on the sex workers out there working, whether they're working on the street or whatever, but they're paying for it. They're doing, so I find it like mind-boggling. Like, how in the hell are you going to hate on this when it is what it is? You know what I mean? I love beautiful women, and if I want to go watch a pornography video, I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah, I'm like, in the end, it's just like, it's like movies nowadays. It's like people would hate like on porn stars too, and when I see movies nowadays, like especially like Game of Thrones, how much sex scenes and how like how crazy that shit. It's like porn on Pornhub. That's literally Pornhub right there.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, yeah, I love Game of Thrones, but porn stars, like
yeah, right. I think there's a necessity for porn stars now. I think there's a necessity for strippers, porn stars, all that kind of sex work, working outside of the club, streetwalkers, all that, whatever you call I think there's a necessity for all of that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
like only my main thing is just be safe. Get tested frequently. Like if you do like extras or work the streets, like anything like that, just be safe. Because
safe.
that's the number one thing I'm really big on. Because I've had people in my personal life that had like diseases before
Goddamn.
and had passed. And I literally would have to watch the process, especially with the healthcare system.
Yeah.
Like either the meds wouldn't work or the meds were too expensive. And I'm like, okay, this is like, you really just got to be safe.
Yeah, you got to be safe.
Testing.
Testing is a plus, right? Make sure you get tested.
It could be $200 or $300. That will save your life.
Yeah, it will.
In the end,
Because
it will
girls
save your
have told
life.
me that guys go to the strip club, they pull down their stuff, and they got trees and bushes and everything going down there. So for you fellas, you guys need to go.
Yeah, it's not fun. Even like stuff that's curable, it's not fun. Why would you want to put yourself through that?
Yeah.
It's not
right?
fun.
Yeah, for real.
It's not.
Yeah. You know what I noticed too? I noticed like a lot of girls do a lot of cocaine, and they do it so long, and they're drinking cocaine and being in it for 8+ years, and they start looking a little bit worn out. They don't look nothing like what you remember them to look like.
Yeah, see that, and that's a big thing. Like if you're working this kind of like industry, you really got to take care of yourself. Like make sure you're resting, make sure you're stretching, make sure you're working out, like drinking lots of water, eating good, because like you're in the club and either you're smoking or you're drinking like every single day, like it's gonna affect.
It's gonna tear you down. Like for me, I was drinking every day, so I might have aged a little bit, but cocaine was the big thing. So I feel like the girls, I've seen girls that look cool, like from what I remember them, and now the cocaine,
You can
I feel
tell.
like it aged them.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. That's why I feel like girls like kind of come here either really drunk but they do it every single day or like for a long time. So just like you really just gotta take care of yourself. Give yourself breaks.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, definitely. You know what's crazy is like right now, I don't even feel like I've been drinking a lot, but I feel like I got a buzz. I really do. Maybe it's because I didn't really eat a lot, but I feel like
It's always that. If you don't eat, yeah, it's gonna hit you.
So how do you feel about drinking? Like, have you ever been super drunk working?
I try not to, but there has been a few times like I did drink because I always drive.
Yeah.
I don't like Ubers because especially if it's like a male Uber and they drop you off, like, oh, you're working here? Like, you know, they get suspicious. Dang. And one time my car didn't start like a while ago when I was at the club. And then the guy, like I think it was like AAA, and he came here. He's like, oh, so do you work here? Like it was already kind of weird and it was late. And I'm like, no, this is sketch. So I don't really try to drink, but sometimes it happens because everyone's like, yeah, take a shot. And you want to please the customers.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have a good time. So it's kind of hard not to. So that's why I always try to sneak in, like, yeah, I'm chugging water in the back.
Right?
Drink your water, girls. Drink your water.
Drink your water. Make sure the managers are actually giving you guys water too.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
That's a big thing. Yeah. I used to do that. I would have a girl on the floor, and if a guy, like I would know right away because the guys knew. They knew who was too drunk. And they'll be trying to touch on them. And I'll pull I'll put her to the side and say, hey, you're going to go to the back. I'm going to give you some water, and you're going to chill there until you sober up because you're doing too much.
Here's a protein bar.
Yeah.
Here's some water. Like, fan yourself for a bit. Like, give yourself a minute, then come back out. But
yeah. So I want to get into how has being a stripper, how has it helped you through your journey of life?
it gave me such like freedom. I haven't had like a 9 to 5 in like years now, in a good way. But it's like, it's kind of hard because when you work in a strip club, you don't know what kind of money you're gonna make. So it's like you really gotta hustle because there's days, especially like slow season right now, during the holidays, like it could be a little bit tough, and daylight savings makes everyone sleepy, like want to go to bed early, you know. So, but it just gave me so much freedom instead of having to request days off, and then your boss be like, "Why you need this day off? Why you need this day off?" It's like, because I want to go see my family, or I want to go to my friend's wedding or baby shower. It's like people should live life, and it's sad because everyone's working 2 to 3 jobs, no days off, not even able to go see somebody that's like on their deathbed because they have to work, and their boss is like, why do you need time off? It's like, it's such a sad world. So it just gave me so much freedom. It gave me my sexuality back, and it's been great. I love it.
She loves it. She loves being a dancer.
I love it.
And an adult star now. So what's the lamest excuse that you have heard from a customer that maybe not wanted to dance, or he's just sitting there and you go up to him and you know he's been there for a few hours not doing nothing? What's the lamest excuse you have had?
He's shy.
You shy? Somebody said they're shy?
They've been saying that. Like,
I'm shy?
A lot of customers have been saying that they're shy. That's why they don't want to get a dance. And I'm like, but you're here touching on the girl. I see you.
Hold on. So that's the excuse. They're shy, but yet they're touching on the girls.
Yeah, they're here touching and talking to all the girls, but they're like, but I'm too shy. I'm too shy to get a dance.
Damn.
I'm like, no, you're just broke.
They're just broke. They're just broke.
Just broke.
They're just broke.
Just say that.
Yeah, they're just broke. You might as well just say that. All right. So do you have any, like, have you ever been in a fight, or do you have any crazy stories of working in the club?
I've never been in a fight. I'm just there to make my money.
You're a nice
and then
girl.
I'm out. Yeah, and I always try to just, like, there's no reason to fight. I'm like, I don't want this to be like high school, because that's what I dealt with. Just everyone wanting to fight, everyone having drama with all the other girls. So I just go there and just be cool. If someone's in a bad mood, I just let them be. But I have seen other girls that work sections. I hate sections. Honestly, I personally don't do them. I can't do them.
And for those that don't know what a section is, that's a club that I worked at was primarily sections in the night shift on the weekends. It's just pretty much a group of girls coming to, say I was sitting here and I had a bottle service, and there might be 4 or 5 girls that come to my section and I throw money at them. That's basically what it is.
Yeah. So like there would be, I honestly don't even do them. Even when I was a baby stripper, like I never was interested. And especially when other girls would come up to me, and I really don't know them. They're not like friends or anything, but they come in like, girl, let's go in the section. And there's always like 10 girls. So I'm like, that's a lot of girls.
Yeah.
But they kind of want like that little protection. I'm like, if they're going to come after me, they're going to come after both of us.
Oh, dang.
So a lot of girls would kind of use me for that, but I'm like, I'm okay. I'm like, if you want to go, go ahead. But I'm like, they're gonna start coming at you, and then there's gonna be a big old fight with the money. I don't do that.
Yeah, she don't do no drama, nothing. So
do
she ain't
that.
doing. She just want to do dances and talk about life.
Yeah, basically, just keep it simple. I'm like, I don't want to fight whose money's who or whose customer is who. I'm there to work. Keep it simple. I go home, call it a night.
All right, before we kind of get to the end here, is there anything that you would like to tell, like maybe a baby stripper or a girl that wants to get into being a dancer?
My advice, if you're wanting to dance, just research your club, research the bad things about clubs, like every negative thing that's happened. Listen to like these podcasts, like with every kind of sex work, and just know how men work. It's gonna help you with this journey if you're being like really serious. And don't think you're gonna quit your 9 to 5 and make so much money and get your own place and whatever. Don't think that, because it's not that easy.
It's not. It does take work. So what do you think, like, as far as the bad things about us men? What are some of the bad things? I kind of want to know, because I've seen a lot of crazy stuff through the journey. So I'm just kind of wondering what you can kind of get back.
I think the worst thing I can say, besides what we've been talking about, like touching and stuff, and it's just they're stalkers. You have to be very aware of stalkers. Don't just get in your car and dip. Look at your surroundings. See if somebody is following you from the club. Like, if somebody's following you, go straight to the police station. Do not fuck around with that shit, because that's like the number one thing. Because girls be really drunk. Either they go home and then they have like a customer following them, trying to see where they live. Even if they don't do something in that moment, you never know. You really never know. Especially knowing like your own car. Like, people, there's the internet. People can get anyone's information nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays, right? You know what? It's crazy because, we're kind of sitting here. I think we only took like, what, 1 shot, 2 shots maybe?
Only one.
Only one. And it's weird because, like, I have a high tolerance for, like, liquor. But right now, I actually feel a little head change.
I feel good.
Do you?
I do.
I don't know what it is, but I feel cool, too. And you know what? I want to get her dog. I know her dog's kind of sleeping, but her dog has been,
gotta get her in.
Her dog has been awesome. Like, the dog just chilled. We got to get the dog. Sorry, dog. We got to wake you up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Look at the dog. Look at the dog.
Okay, we gotta get her in.
This is like the best dog ever. She's like been chill, kicking back.
Say hi.
Hi.
She's like, I love my sex worker mommy.
She loves her mommy, her sex worker mommy. She loves her. Yeah, that's the best dog ever right there. All right, well, it is your boy Invincible. Shout out to all my viewers. Keep in mind to tap that bell button because you guys want to get notified when we are releasing new videos. Make sure you guys support the Patreon because we are going to do something for the Patreon right now. Just make sure you guys tune in to what we're doing because we got some incredible things happening. And shout out to Cherie because she is the bomb and she got it going on. And like I said, she's like a garden because everybody want to see her entertain. So shout out to you guys. It's your boy Invincible and we are up and out.
Gentleman Club Diary.